With our most recent livestream not only going over all of the content to expect in version 2.2, it did finally confirm who will be returning alongside the debut of Seed and Orphie. In the first phase, as expected, we are going to be seeing the return of Trigger, but within the second phase we are in fact receiving Evelyn's rerun banner. Initially, I did rule Evelyn out since I wouldn't expect for two fire attackers to release in the same phase, but I guess with the fact Evelyn is an on-field combo DPS whereas Orphie is an off-field aftershock DPS, it would mean despite being fire attackers they both will have very different playstyles. So now, considering version 2.2 is pretty stacked with valuable characters that may lead to some uncertainty in who you should focus on pulling, I'll be going over the key standouts of each character alongside the sort of team versatility they hold. Then I'll be finishing it up with their overall value and who you may want to prioritize for your account. As always, if you are interested in more ZenlessZoneZero content, would very much appreciate it if you could subscribe and drop a like if you enjoyed the video. Kicking this off with arguably one of the most unique attackers to release, Seed, as we know, has been confirmed to be an electric attacker and will be a main DPS that will want to be utilized alongside another attacker, since not only does she seem to mainly deal burst damage with her ultimate and mech attacks, but also does in fact gain an attack and crit damage bonus, scaling off the attacker teammate with the highest amount of attack. So there would be a huge reliance on having another attacker alongside Seed to enable her to fully utilize her core passive. But with that, there will also be some benefit for the secondary attacker since they will be receiving a damage bonus alongside Seed when certain conditions are met. On top of that, the additional ability will allow Seed to provide energy to the other attacker when she deals damage as the active character, which of course would be incredible for attackers that do deal a lot of damage through their special attacks. In addition to that, Seed's mech abilities via basic attacks will deal even more damage and ignore a portion of enemy resistance, which does make her even more reliable as a burst damage dealer since she would certainly be dealing a lot more damage. So with all of that considered, alongside the fact that she does have the most unique ultimate in the game, Seed is definitely looking to be quite a valuable attacker for many reasons, and amongst them would be the fact that she does enable dual attacker compositions. Now with that said, it would of course mean Seed will have great team versatility with pretty much most attackers, but especially those that do deal a lot of damage via special attacks since they would be receiving additional energy when Seed is the active character. So attackers such as Soldier Anby, Evelyn, Zhu, and to no surprise Orphie would synergize extremely well, given each of them do deal solid damage via their special attacks and will definitely appreciate the additional energy to speed up their rotations. Lastly, with the fact the additional ability does require at least for an attacker to be in the squad, which is something you would already do, it then makes it quite simple to activate the additional ability to utilize Seed's kit and max potential. So with having a kit that not only allows Seed to deal great damage but will also enable the secondary attacker to deal more damage overall, alongside fantastic flexibility for an attacker and very unique animations, once again Seed will be a great attacker that is capable of providing fantastic value to many accounts. But of course, especially those that do already have a lot of attackers that can synergize with Seed. Now regarding the value Orphie and Magus hold, as our newest fire attacker, it was more or less confirmed from the moment she was revealed that she would be an off-field sub DPS. But alongside that, she does provide immense value to other aftershock damage dealers whilst being expected to deal solid damage on-field and off-field. In specific, the special attack is going to be one of the more valuable abilities within Orphie's kit, since they are automatically triggered dealing aftershock damage whenever an ally deals damage. Though with the EX special attack there are in fact two variations. The first can be activated as usual and will allow Orphie to shoot a laser towards the enemy, but when off-field and with having enough energy it will be automatically activated, dealing a lot of damage. Now the second variation, known as heat charge, will only be activated when Orphie has acquired enough bottled heat in her gauge, which will lead to Orphie again firing a massive laser towards the enemy for a certain duration before spinning towards them and firing another laser to deal a burst of damage. Though in addition to that, dealing damage with heat charge would also lead to Orphie's allies receiving the zeroed in status, which will significantly increase their attack for a certain duration. However, that duration is extended whenever the agent with the status inflicts an aftershock attack, which already hints at the fact Orphie is definitely going to synergize with those that do deal aftershock attacks the most. Lastly, with the additional ability, the zeroed in status will enable aftershock damage to straight up ignore a certain amount of defense on enemies. So this would quite literally double down on Orphie wanting to be paired with other characters that deal aftershock damage, considering they would be capable of dealing a ton more damage with their aftershocks. So characters such as Soldier Anby and Trigger would of course be some standout choices, but other characters such as Fufu and Pulchra are worth mentioning as they do also deal aftershock attacks. However, there is also a seed that can enable Orphie to activate the EX special attack much more often, considering she does provide additional energy when she is on field. So Orphie clearly isn't as flexible as Seed if you are intending to maximize her kit's abilities. But for the characters she does synergize with, she will be incredibly valuable and now might shoot up the aftershock composition to be one of the best teams to utilize in their game. Now briefly going over the rerun characters and the value they hold, as our original aftershock stun character that is capable of dealing solid damage on field and off field, Trigger has certainly retained a lot of her value, and now with even more characters releasing that she can synergize with, it does mean she has become even more valuable as a stun character overall. Although even for those that aren't looking to pick up any of the new characters in version 2.2 or don't even have Soldier Anby, Trigger can still be of use to your account since she is a universal stun character that can even be utilized as a support, mostly due to the fact she simply deals great damage and daze off field whilst increasing the stun damage multiplier by 35% on enemies hit with her aftershock attacks. But also that stun damage multiplier is applied even when the enemy isn't stunned. So pretty much any DPS would have access to an additional 35% damage multiplier for most of the battle, which really allows Trigger to be extremely flexible amongst attacker compositions and even anomaly compositions. So with all of that considered, it's fair to say Trigger is going to have the most universal value out of the banners available in version 2.2. But of course, she wouldn't hold nearly as much value if you do already have enough premium stun characters on your account. Lastly, as for Evelyn's rerun value, it's fair to say that she has remained to be one of the best attackers in the game due to her incredible damage output. Although with that said, she is a combo attacker that does require a bit more effort in pulling off her more difficult rotations, so she wouldn't necessarily be as easy to utilize at her best in comparison to some other damage dealers. But of course she still does deal top tier damage regardless and enough to clear a lot of content. Also, she does have an additional ability that allows her to be extremely versatile, since it is simply activated by either support characters or stun characters. Of course, her best in slot composition would be much more premium and would consist of Lighter alongside AstraYao, but you would still be able to use Evelyn within various compositions including free-to-play options to clear through most content. So with that, and having some incredible animations whilst also technically having a transformation mechanic, since activating Ultimate does lead to her removing her jacket, Evelyn is overall still a fantastic attacker and does in fact remain as the best fire main DPS as of version 2.2. Though I do have to say, when considering the other damage dealers that have released as of recent and ones that will be dropping soon, Evelyn is ever so slightly feeling the effects of power creep and soon may not hold as much value in the meta. So that would just be a warning for those that do focus on the meta and prioritize the very best in order to blitz through endgame. But if you aren't really bothered by that, then Evelyn is still definitely a great character to consider next update. Overall, version 2.2 is stacked with characters that do hold a lot of value, though their value will of course depend majorly on the state of your own account. Seed in specific looks to be quite a fun character to use overall and really is going to have a massive impact on attacker compositions, since she does enable dual attacker compositions to now potentially be meta. So if you do already have quite a few attackers on your account in specific that can synergize with Seed or perhaps also intend to pick up Orphie, then she will definitely be an attacker that you may want to consider next version update. Orphie on the other hand is going to be a fantastic character for Aftershock synergies in specific, but with that it means she will have great longevity since there will definitely be many Aftershock characters that release in the future. Though as of now, the main reason you would want to consider Orphie is that if you do have characters that can deal plenty of Aftershock damage, which would allow you to utilize Orphie's kit at max potential and for the characters you already have to deal more damage. As for Trigger in specific, as mentioned, she does arguably hold the most value out of the available banners due to her versatility and long-term value, though it really just depends on if you do need a stun character for your account, then Trigger will be amazing for Aftershock compositions and other compositions consisting of either attackers or anomaly characters. Finally, with Evelyn, she is still regarded as an amazing attacker with a fun playstyle, great animations, and overall solid flexibility that can help many players to clear through all types of content. However, again with damage dealers such as Miyabi and Yuzuha already having released and potentially another Void Hunter expected to release sometime soon, it might just be better long term to prioritize one of those characters to be one of your main damage dealers on your account. So all in all, version 2.2 does offer a great amount of value, but it is pretty tailored for attacker comps and the Aftershock meta, which means for some the character's next update will be a skip, but for others it is going to be a big version update with multiple characters that do hold incredible value. And with that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Would really appreciate it if you could subscribe for more ZenlessZoneZero content, and if you enjoyed the video, drop a like. Also, drop a comment down below on who exactly are you planning to pick up in version 2.2. And yeah, hope to catch you guys later.